So let us go in detail what exactly this training is meant for. So Okta is one of the identity and access management product. So when I'm talking about identity and access management, that is one of the component which is part of cybersecurity. So even in identity and access management, we have a lot of products, right? So some to name like CA single sign-on, right? So Tivoli, you have many. Oracle has Oracle Identity Manager or Access Manager, right? So there are many. So out of this, nowadays Okta is being the leader. For one of the reason is it is a cloud-based IDaaS solution. Uh, and if someone asks whether we have competitor for Okta, yes, we have couple of them because not just Okta is a cloud-based identity and access management product, but we do have others. So one of them to name is Microsoft Azure because even Microsoft Azure is a cloud-based solution, right? So we can perform all identity and access management tasks from Microsoft Azure. But there are a couple of reasons why they prefer to use Okta because see Microsoft Azure, just taking an example of Microsoft Azure, it's not just identity and access management, it's you can do a lot more things because a lot more people will be using Microsoft Azure. And there are a couple of things where you can't perform from Microsoft Azure, but there are some features, very good features, where Okta supports. So that is why many of the accounts turn up to Okta. And as per the Gartner report, Okta stands at the top as a leader. And there are few which are competing with Okta as well, right? And there are few accounts which are supporting on-premise product, right? So whatever I have named a couple of minutes back, namely like Oracle, Tivoli, or whatever, right? So all those accounts slowly moving to cloud because most of the things are moving to cloud nowadays, and they prefer to take off the solution, right? So that's about it. And when I'm talking about people who are new to identity and access management, just to give a quick info, what exactly this identity and access management is. So identity and access management covers two separate things. One is identity management, the other one is access management. So when I'm talking about identity management, it is more on dealing with your identities, user identities, right? So any modification, any creation, deletion, things like that, right? Identity lifecycle management. So talking about access management is something like giving an access to an application, right? So it's dealing with the access rights, uh, who should be provisioned and who should hold access to the application and things like that, right? So combining both is nothing but identity and access management solution. And Okta, we will be uh, discussing more on Okta product when it comes to identity and access management product. And just to cover, there are some of the topics which will be covered as part of Okta training. And we will go in detail on what all components we hold in Okta and how is it getting benefited. And before I start with the training topics, uh, just to a quick info on how it will be delivered, right? From day one, people who are getting into an training session, they will hold access to Okta console or an Okta tenant so that they can practice on their own and come up with the questions for the next session, right? So, and the recording as well, as soon as we complete each and every session, every session will be recorded and they will be given the recorded file once we complete the each session, right? So that is how it goes. And yeah, let me quickly share my screen and show you like what all things are covered as part of Okta training. Okay, so there are a lot more topics here. So these are all some of the topics which we will go in detail once we get into an training session, live training session. So this is, since this is a part of demo session, I will just quickly walk you through what are all the topics we will be covering, right? So Okta overview and its components. So these are all some of the components which we have in Okta, namely like application integration. When I'm talking about application integration, it is nothing but you are integrating an application with Okta so that to achieve a single sign-on, right? Why single sign-on is useful, what is the advantage of having it is something which we will cover in detail when we go on a live demonstration of application integration, right? So there are many application protocols which supports integration, right? So maybe like SAML, SWA, OpenID, WSFET, and so on. So we will go in detail later. The next topic will be on multi-factor authentication. As most of them know, RSA is one of the two-factor authentication which is most commonly used. In Okta, other than apart from RSA, we also the Okta supports many other factor types like Google Authenticator, Okta Verify. Okta has its own uh, two-factor. It is known as Okta Verify. We have many other, right? Geo security, security question, and so on. There are many factor types. Now, choosing the factor type is something like based on the customer requirement, but we will go in detail like how we define the factor types and how do we create multiple policies and change in priority of the policies, what will be the end user experience. These are some of the things which we will cover in detail once we go further on a training session. As other products, we also in Okta we have reporting. There are some predefined reports. So this will be useful during the audit purpose or when there is any customer requirement, and also if there is a requirement like to share the reports on a weekly or a monthly basis, even we can do that. These are all some of the predefined reports, and things which we can customize also will be covered in the live session. We can have the customized reporting as well. Okay. API integration is nothing but, say for an example, there are some application or a product which don't support an application, any of the application protocols, right? So a couple of them I named like SAML, SWA, right? So in that case, how do we connect to those application or product with Okta? So we can make use of API integration. So we will go in detail on how we achieve it successful on connecting the source and destination, right? So this will be discussed in detail during API integration. And the next will be on policies. Policies are a couple of policies, maybe like authentication policies, Active Directory policies, self-service password reset policies, or multi-factor authentication policies. So we will go in detail like how do we define, what is the end user experience, and so on. Because as I'm saying, um, experience is because of you people will hold access to of the tenant from day one. So whenever we start discussing on each and every topic, you people can um, have it practiced and come up with the questions or any concerns in the next class, so that can be answered before we start with the next topic. We also have something called additional security notification. This is one of the good feature what we have, so that as an end user he will have more clarity on what is going on with his account. Suppose in case if someone performs an MFA reset, right, multi-factor authentication reset, so end user will come to know that so and so person have performed an MFA reset from this location, right? So end user will have more clarity what is going on with his account. Or say for an example, if an end user, if someone is trying to access with his credential from a different location, end user will get a notification that your credential is being used from so and so location. So is it genuine or suspicious? Again, end user can report it as suspicious so that the things will get triggered to super administrator like Okta administrator, right? And then they can take a necessary action. We will go in detail like how the end user experience or when someone performs any changes, what sort of notification end user will get. That is something we will see. Okta Mobile is one more feature in Okta, wherein in order to access the Okta console, you will have to open the browser, right? So there is an alternate way in order to access the Okta tenant or a console. It is from an Okta mobile app, right? So we will look at how what all things we can define in Okta Mobile and so on. There is also something called networks in other identity and access management products. You don't see something called networks, right? So this is more to deal with network security team, but this is an additional feature what we have it in Okta. We will be discussing more on blacklisting and whitelisting the IP address. So what is blacklisting and whitelisting? As the name itself suggests, whitelisting is nothing but you are allowing or trusting the IP address. Blacklisting is something like you are not uh, allowing that particular IP or you are denying those IPs. So you don't need them to get inside. So that is what it is meant to say. But again, you can define couple of rules for network and you can have it linked with some of the other policies or rules. We will go in detail when we are covering this. And the next feature is profile master or a profile source. This actually tells you like from where the identities are getting flowed and what is the priority, which IDP should be taken a priority in order to authenticate is something we will cover in profile master or a profile source. Why I have given a profile master slash profile source is earlier it was known as profile master, but recently they have changed the name as profile source. Yeah. But the way of working is same, only the name has been changed from master to source. Profile editor is one of the other feature where you will be dealing with adding the attributes, mapping the attributes between source and destination or from destination to source, right? So this is something, one more important thing where you can map the attributes, add the attributes and so on, okay? Directory integration, say for an example, as you people know that Okta is a cloud-based solution and think that all the end user information are stored in your local uh, directory, right? When I say about local directory, it could be an active directory, right? All the employees information are stored in active directory. Now, active directory is something which is present in your customer environment within your on-premise environment, right? Now, how do we flow those data from to cloud, from Active Directory, from your customer environment to the cloud? There should be a way to communicate things and have it flow to cloud, right? So that is when we installed agents, right? So the main purpose of this agent is in order to coordinate between your cloud environment to your customer environment, okay? We will deal with directory integration. It's one important topic. How do we fetch the user information from on-premise environment to the cloud? We will discuss this when we are covering this in detail. There is also something called provisioning. Provisioning is, there are two types of provisioning. One is directory level provisioning. The other one is application level provisioning. So directory level provisioning is something like directory level identity lifecycle management, so that you don't need to manually make any changes. It all gets automated, right? So whenever there is an account which gets created in Active Directory, it gets updated even in Okta, right? Similarly, in application provisioning, whenever there is an application user got assigned to an application, you don't need to ask application team to create the record. It automatically creates a record. It's all happening using provisioning. So we also discuss about group and user management, because other than flowing an accounts from an Active Directory, you can also create the local accounts and group in Okta. So we will cover that in detail, right? So these are all some of the components that we will be discussing in detail in our training session, right? Now, creating and managing users, there are different sort of users and groups which we can create. And how do we differentiate between Active Directory and Okta users is something which we will look at. And adding the attributes or updating the value in the attributes, right? So, and the difference between the Okta and Active Directory user accounts or group accounts, we will look at that in detail. And we also have a different administrator roles in Okta. When I say administrator role, you can't have one single role, right? Because I myself, if I'm the person who is managing Okta, I can't give the same rights to help desk guy, right? Because as an Okta administrator, you can't perform all these L1 related activities like password reset, multi-factor authentication reset, and so on. This is something which normally managed by help desk. Now, for them to give access, you can't just give an access as a super admin, right? So we do have a different administrator roles like help desk admin, application admin, group admin, super admin. We have various others, right? So we will look at in detail like what are all the different administrator roles and what all things they can perform once we assign those particular roles to them, right? That is something which we will be discussing. We also will discuss with AD agent. As I was saying during the directory integration, AD is nothing but Active Directory Agent. So we will try to understand what is AD agent, how do we install and configure this AD agent in your on-premise environment. Similarly, IWA is nothing but integrated Windows authentication, which is nothing but desktop single sign-on. What is exactly desktop single sign-on is something which we will cover in detail. How do we achieve that using Okta, right? And how do we install and configure it? And there are a few other troubleshootings as well as part of ED agent and IWA agent, which you people might come across once you go on live project. How do we configure an automatic IWA failover or an high availability of AD agent? See, you can't install AD agent on one single server, right? What in case if that server goes down? So your complete setup is down, right? So that is why we can make use of installing this AD agent or IWA agent on multiple servers so that even if one site goes down, the other site will be working. So how do we achieve that is something we will look into it. We will go in detail about directory integration, as I said earlier. Like as an Active Directory, you might have several OUs, organizational units, and you don't need to sync all OUs to Okta. The reason is Okta license is based on the number of user count which is available in Okta, right? All unnecessary accounts should not get flowed to Okta. So that is why we will make use of only those OUs which we need to pull from Active Directory to Okta. That is something we will go in detail. How do we install the AD agent, and from installing the AD agent, how do we actually pull the records from Active Directory to cloud during the directory integration. There is also one more concept called JIT. JIT is nothing but just-in-time provisioning. What is the importance of just-in-time provisioning will also be discussed during the directory integration. Policies, as I was saying, there are, it could be a multi-factor authentication policies or Active Directory policies or SSPR deployment. SSPR is nothing but self-service password reset, one good feature wherein If the end user forgets his password or if his account gets locked, he don't have to wait for help desk to perform it. As an end user, no matter whether he is in whichever location he is in, he can perform his password reset or account unlock, right? At whichever place he is in. So he don't have to wait in a queue to get the help desk assistance. So how do we achieve that is something we will look into it in detail during our live training session. There is also something called network and IVA routing rule. Network is something which we have already discussed on a high level, like uh, uh, it's about more about like whitelisting, blacklisting, mapping to the rule, and so on, right? So using this IVA routing rule, what benefit we can make use of this network policies, whatever we define there, right? So that is something we will look into it in detail. So we will also cover about application integration um, by taking an example of maybe like any other application, maybe like ServiceNow, Salesforce, and so on. So we will try to integrate it live, like what will be the before application integration, what is the behavior, and after performing an application integration, what will be the end user behavior is something which we will be covering in detail. During that time, we will be also discussing about the other application protocol, what exactly SAML is, what is OAuth, what is WSPred, what is SWA, right? All these things we will go in detail, right? Provisioning, as I said, there are two types of provisioning. ILM stand for Identity Lifecycle Management. We will cover both provisionings, directory level provisioning as well as application level provisioning in detail. We also have something called self-service app request flow. Say for an example, as an organization, you can give all your end users to make a request to certain apps, right? So you can define a workflow. So as soon as when end user makes a request, where the request should hit and who should approve it. And once he approves or deny, should you get a notification, or you can define a workflow. That is something we will be covering in detail when we are talking about self-service app request. And profile master, profile editor, right? So this is more on mapping the attributes. We will cover in detail, maybe like we will try to add couple of attributes and we will try to map couple of attributes from source to destination so that you will have more clarity on how do we achieve that, right? Okta Mobile is one alternate way in order to access this Okta console. This is something which you can access from the mobile app. API integration, as I have informed it earlier, things which don't support any application protocol, right? So you can have it connected using an API integration. So other than that, reporting, the custom reports, how do you define that? There are some of the Okta settings, right? So maybe you need to change the logo or you need to change the template, right? There are a lot more things. Other than that, we will also go through some of the troubleshooting steps that might come up in your live project based on my experience. I have been part of cybersecurity from 14 years, and from 14 years, I've been working in cybersecurity side. So, based on my experience, what all things might come up in the live project as part of troubleshooting will be something we will be discussing at the end. Not at the end, maybe even during the time of each and every topics when we are covering. We will also discuss about this might be the issue which might come across and how do we fix that. That is something which I will be walking through on each and every topic during that time, but still at the end we will cover in detail. And not last but the least, so we also have this Okta console. So people might ask like, how do we get this Okta console? So you might see some of the entries here, right? So 9946. You don't have to think about it because this is one of the ongoing training session which which is happening, and I'm making use of that Okta tenant. Now, the next question is, how do we create our own Okta tenant, right? So you might see like it's only like 12 days left for your trial version. So I will also walk you through on how do you create your own Okta tenant. Okay. Say for an example, maybe our training will go on for some time, and then maybe if you need to practice after 3 months or 6 months, so you can create your own Okta tenant and have it practiced. Okay. So you don't, there is no charge for that. It's a free trial for 30 days. You can make use of it. So we will go in detail. But when it comes to your live environment, you might ask me like, is it something which you have to create? It's not you, because you can't create an tenant for your live project, because there is something called licensing in place, right? So it's all happening over the licensing. And whenever there is any tenant, there is no, you won't get any alert like this, like it expires on so and so date, because the person who is in charge is actually responsible to renew the service, because it might have like a 1 year of uh, service extension, or 2 years, 4 years, and so on. So it is the responsibility of the concerned POC to extend the license. So it's his responsibility to procure a license. And once you have a proper license in place, Okta vendor will share you the tenant. You don't have to worry about that. Okta tenant will share you the um, Okta vendor will share you the tenant. But for our practice purpose, if you need to know how do we create the Okta tenant, we can do that, so that it holds validity only for 30 days. So you can practice. Post 30 days, you can register again a fresh new tenant, which will hold again for 30 days, right? So there is no limit for that. Now, all the things, whatever we cover during our Word document, right? We will go in detail using our console. On the day one, you will hold access. I will set up the environment so that you will have access to the lab session from day one, so that we will go in detail. We will see like what is this people, what is groups, profile editor, profile source. That is something which we were discussing in our Word document. Directory integration. So using directory integration, how do we add a domain, right? How do we fetch an active directory, because this is something in cloud. I mean, I'm accessing this Okta tenant from my internet, right? Now, but this is something which is our customer side, which is secured, right? How do we flow the data? Because you might see there are a couple of user identities that are present in my Okta console. But how all these things are coming from, right? So suppose, say for an example, if I click on AD, you might have something like AD user 14, because this is something I know that this is something which is getting flowed from Active Directory. Now, right? So source from Active Directory, it's not created locally, right? So we will go in detail like each and every topic. So security, you have general, delegated authentication, multi-factor authentication network, right? So there are many other things. So each and every topic will be covered as part of our training session. And um, so yeah, so that covers the training part. So all these topics will be discussed in detail in our training class, so that people who are planning to take up certification will also be helpful, because what is the topics which are listed down here will cover the OCP as well as OCA, right? Okta Certified Professional, or uh, not completely on OCA, but in half of it, which is Okta Certified Administrator as well, right? So we have three types of certification in Okta. One is professional, administrator, and consultant, right? So people can take up the first level, which is professional, second is administrator, and third is the consultant, which will be a lot more tougher. But we'll also let you know like what all things should be uh, taken in place before attempting an certification at the end of the session. Okay. So this is all about what we will be covering as part of the Okta training. Thank you all. See you.